Hi, hello, welcome to BEL English. This is an opening provided by a Canadian-based employer, and it's entirely a farm work where you have to assist him in packing the fresh produces and the vegetations from his farm. So it's typically a farm labor kind of thing where you'll be helping the employer on packing, cleansing, and segregating the vegetations and sending them across for the markets. And your responsibility is primarily work on the farm continuously, and the salary offered is $14.39 per hour. So before we get into the details of this particular job posting, if you are new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell button next to it so that you'll receive regular video updates on daily basis. The employer name is actually Shabatra Farm Limited, and the employer is looking for someone to assist him on the packing of the vegetations from his farm, and the designation which he is looking for is field grown crop farm labor, and it's in harvesting. So as soon as the harvesting happens, every vegetation would have a harvesting period, planting period, growing period, and harvesting period. Harvesting is the important phase where you have to get the end produce which are grown up completely, and you have to segregate them and send them to the markets according to the market's expectation, according to the orders which the employer is receiving. And this job is a seasonal employment, and it's a full-time employment which caters from day, evening, night, and weekend shifts as well. So you have to work continuously. Might be a day-long work because the employer is looking for working duration of 60 hours per week. So, and the start date, he is looking for someone to join as soon as possible. And most importantly, which is the good news here, is he has an approved LMIA. So which means that his LMIA application has been approved for recruiting the foreigners besides employing the Canadians and permanent residents. So if you are a foreigner, if you are a person who's legally entitled to work in Canada and looking for some jobs in Canada, you can absolutely apply for this particular position. And he has an approval LMIA. LMIA is very essential for employing a foreigner in Canada, and that's mandatory. And since he has got the approval already, he can directly take you, and you can very well apply, and there are more possibility you can get through this position. The job requirement is English as a language. As you know, the communication is primarily happening in English, as Canada has two main official language, English and French. And English is predominantly used on most of the northern territories, and the border territories and southern territories would go with French. Wherein this employer is looking for someone who is more fluent in English. So you should be having a good command of language so that you can make the conversation properly and understand the employer's request or inputs, whatever it is. And to get through the team, you are supposed to have good language skill. You should know English. And experience is an asset, considering if you have relevant experience, that could be considered as an asset by the employer. Perhaps even if you don't have an experience, that not at all, there is no need for you to worry at all. You are still considered for the position. It's all that you have to be passionate about working here. You have to have that sort of dedication to provide the employer best of your service. And education, he is not looking for any sort of education. All he needs is a laborer and an assistant who can assist him on packing the actual harvested vegetations. And specific skills: sort, pack fruits and vegetables. Predominantly it's vegetation. So you are supposed to sort the harvested veggies, like the fruits, vegetables, and once it is sorted, you are supposed to pack them appropriately as how the inputs are given by the employer. How it works in the fresh produce is not only there, almost in everywhere in the world. It works like once the vegetations are all good, so that would be sorted and packed according to the market needs. There might be different buyers and would have different specifications in specific to the product and the way they have to present to their end customer. So depending on that, you are supposed to pack. And certain vegetation or the plantations would actually does is they actually pack them in bulk and lots, and then that will go to the end purchaser, where he'll split and repack them for his customer. So whatever this requirement arises from the employer, you are supposed to meet that packing expectation by the employer. So pick a row, orchard crops. So you have to pick a row, and those are the orchard crops which are predominantly grown on the moist region, and so that grows almost on most of the cold climatic conditions. So load, unload, transfer crates, supplies and farm produces, livestock and poultry. So you are supposed to load, unload, and transfer the crates, of course. So you have to pack them. Loading, unloading, transfer crates, supplies and farm produces. Of course, any farm would have such redundant works where you have to load the things which are packed and sent for the marketplace, and unloading them. At times, once the empty crates are returned, you are supposed to unload them and arrange them appropriately for the next day or the next transaction to take place properly. Or you have to do with the other farm related livestock and poultry that are additional on top of what the actual commitment. It's all about predominantly the vegetation the employer is planting. And equipments and machineries, it's like vegetable harvester and fruit harvester. So since it's a vegetation land, you are supposed to harvest them. So you would be handling the harvesters for vegetables and fruits, and you should have that additional skill of write daily basic progress report. So you are supposed to write a basic progress, like how much has been done on a specific day 1 and day 2 and day 3. So you have to capture that progress and clean the work area, which is very important here. While packing goes with segregating, sorting different vegetations, you are supposed to clear your working area as soon as you are done with your packing. So by the end of the day, you are supposed to clear your area and make sure it's neat and tidy before you leave. So that's what is expected. And weight handling would be approximately 23 kilograms, which would be like 50 pounds, which the employer is actually mentioning. And the type of crops, it's vegetables and berries. It's all like veggies and berries, as we were saying, fruits and vegetables. It's all vegetables and berries. Own tool equipments, so it's like gloves. So you are supposed to have a glove, though he might oblige you to do that. So you are supposed to have a pair of gloves for yourself. And then work site would be outdoor, wet and damp, hot. As you see, it's completely an outdoor environment where that will be wet and damp. As you know, all vegetation and the plantation would happen on soil, so which should be mostly wet and damp. And since it's completely an agri-based workplace, you'll definitely have this hot, wet and damp environment. So transportation, your own transportation. So since the public transportation are not available on that region, the work condition, the physical capabilities would be, you have to adapt to that fast-paced environment. So fast-paced environment, as you know, it's completely a transit-oriented, where you'll have people pouring in, things coming in, and then you have to segregate them, send it across, and empty carriers would return, and then you have to unload them and then keep them on a neat place where you have to make them prepared for the next day dispatch. So that is how the environment would be. So you have to adapt to that, and it could be a repetitive task. All the farm would definitely have repetitive tasks, because it's just the vegetation that has to be harvested and packed according to the market need. So based on the buyers, you have to supply accordingly. So that could be more of a repetitive task. Handling heavy loads, as you have seen, like approximately 23 kilograms. That's quite huge for certain people. Physically demanding, you're supposed to be a physically demanding person, as long standing hours would happen. So it's completely a packing job where you are supposed to stand continuously, bending, crouching, kneeling, an ability to distinguish between colors, which is very important while segregating the end produce and the vegetations, because based on the color, you'll be segregating the actual ripened one or the like much of the sour kind of thing. So most of the fruits would be sour when they are young, and once they actually get matures and ripen up, that becomes sweeter. So that's how you should be in a position to segregate the berries mostly. So based on the color, you have to segregate them. So you should be in a position to identify the colors, and then you should have a good hand-to-eye coordination, which is very essential in any packing job. So this is what the expectation is, and the work location is rural. As you know, vegetation happens on rural. And how to apply for this job? You are supposed to send in an email to the employer. I've given the email details with this job posting on the below description box through a reference website. You can access the website and go through yourself. The detailed posting is available there, and then the email address of the employer is also given there along with his location. You can send in an email with your updated resume about your personal things and about your experience, expertise, and besides that, do not forget to leave your cover letter. So make sure you send a cover letter and your updated resume along with any of your legal documents which are required by the employer, which would actually make your profile out of the box, make your profile more visible to the employer. So try to impress him over that mail. So you have to write a detailed email with that resume and cover letter. So all the best, guys. I hope I've covered enough of details about this job posting. If you have any questions or queries, please do feel free to let me know in the comment box. I'll be pleased to assist you, and we'll see you soon with another new job posting. Before I sign off, do not forget to support the channel, subscribe the channel, and share it with your friends. Definitely that will be helpful for someone who is in really need and stranded during this pandemic. So see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.